Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. That the forest green uniform of Marines made its first appearance. From the beginning, the Corps served with our Navy comrades. Under the leadership of the Corps' first Commandant, Captain Samuel Nicholas, the Marines underwent their baptism by fire as a fighting team when they stormed the beaches at New Providence in the Bahamas. 200 Marines and 50 sailors quickly seized 2 forts and the city of Nassau, then re-embarked with captured guns and supplies that would later provide vital support for General George Washington's army. Alexandria to Tripoli, across hundreds of miles of searing desert, Lieutenant Presley O'Bannon led his small detail of 7 Marines and several hundred Arab irregulars against impossible odds. O'Bannon's Marines overcame those odds, dashed through the streets of Derna, and seized the harbor fort with such speed that the stunned defenders left their cannons loaded and primed but unfired. On that day, April 27, 1805, the Stars and Stripes were raised into victory for the first time in the Eastern Hemisphere. The Marines had quelled the threat of the Barbary pirates and extended their reputation to the shores of Tripoli. The War of 1812 started badly for the United States, but as the British advanced on the new capital city of Washington, Marines and sailors stood firm at the Battle of Bladensburg. The Leathernecks broke the backs of the cracked British 4th and 85th Regiments, and later stood alone resisting the superior force of the British regulars, who were considered to be the best troops in the world at that time. Through their actions, Marines won the new respect and firmly established their reputation as a tenacious fighting force. The battle of Civil War covered the land, pitting brother against brother, Marine against Marine. Leathernecks in both Confederate gray and Union blue fought honorably for their respective sides, and earned battle honors in every naval engagement of the war. On the high seas and in port, during raids and river blockades, Marines established their legacy of serving aboard vessels and defending naval installations. As Marines stood on the doorstep of a new century, the United States was at war with Spain. When the battleship Maine was sunk in the Havana harbor, America once again called upon its Corps of Marines and sent them ashore at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Heroism was the order of the day. In the intense fighting around Cusco Wells, another Marine legend was born. Sergeant John Quick earned the Congressional Medal of Honor as he repeatedly exposed himself to enemy fire while signaling American ships at sea to shift their supporting fire. The bold initiative, innovative tactics, and courageous actions of the Marines in Cuba earned the Corps their enduring praise of a proud American public. The war to end all wars had raged on for 4 years when America entered the fray, and the attack on Pearl Harbor catapulted the nation into World War II. The Marine Corps responded by rapidly increasing its strength from 20,000 to more than 500,000. The warriors of the Corps performed magnificently throughout the Pacific, from the doomed but valiant defense of Wake Island to the jungle hell of Guadalcanal. From the bitter island campaigns of Tarawa, Saipan, and Iwo Jima to the typhoon of steel during the Battle of Okinawa. Marines served notice to the world that they were a fighting force second to none. Stories of Marine valor in World War II are retold even today. Tales of legends like Lou Diamond, Manila John Basilone, Pappy Boyington, Mitchell Page, and a host of others. These Marines kept the faith with their leatherneck predecessors through a fighting spirit that made uncommon valor a common virtue. Introduction of women Marines. These women became an integral part of the Marine Corps and adopted the motto, "Free a man to fight." Because of them, 20,000 men were able to join their fellow Marines in battles throughout the Pacific. Women Marines showed the same spirit and determination as their male counterparts, and through their sweat, skill, and courage, earned a permanent place on the Marine Air Ground Team. On a quiet Sunday in 1950, 5 years after World War II, the North Korean Army invaded South Korea. They quickly broke through the ill-prepared southern defenses, raced south, and forced the American military to the sea. Marine combat units were quickly brought up to strength and deployed to Korea. Known to the world as the Fire Brigade, these Marines dug in the shaky Pusan perimeter. Then, with their backs to the sea, they turned back the North Korean horde. Once the communist assault was stopped, it became a matter of what the Corps did best: attack. The United Nations commander planned a daring offensive and orchestrated the most bold amphibious assault in history, a landing at Incheon. Brilliantly executed by the Navy Marine Corps team and spearheaded by the Marines, the landing was a complete success and North Korea resisted ended a few months later. The Chinese, however, had other plans, and their attack at the Chosin Reservoir dictated a new and bitter kind of war. The Marine withdrawal from the frozen hell of Chosin was undoubtedly one of the Corps' finest hours. 7,000 Marines, many injured and frostbitten, came out of the Chosin Reservoir carrying their dead and wounded. They left behind them 7 decimated Chinese divisions. Military historians and tacticians agree that when viewed in the emotional terms of heroism and the endurance of individual Marines, the Chosin Reservoir withdrawal remains one of the most military masterpieces that occurred when skill and bravery defy rational expectation. Marine Major General Oliver P. Smith exemplified that spirit best when he said of the withdrawal, "Retreat, hell, we're just attacking in another direction." As we look back on 237 years of dedicated service to our country, we must pause and reflect on the other partner of this great team. For without the Navy, our Corps could not be successful. Listen to their roll call, the sturdy sailors of the Gator Navy, who put us ashore in the teeth of enemy fire. The skilled men of the carriers, destroyers, and other warships who cover us on shore and slug it out at sea. The Seabees, who work miracles of construction under fire and live by their motto, "Can do." The officers and men of the medical corps, the corpsmen, our docs, who put themselves in harm's way to treat the wounded. And finally, the chaplains, who have served with us since the founding of our corps and provide comfort in battle and assistance during in peace. This too is a legacy of valor. To the Navy, we salute you and recognize our bonds as members of the Navy Marine Corps team. November 1965, Vietnam. Once again, Marines answered the call to duty, this time in the mountains, jungles, and rice paddies of South Vietnam. Despite public opposition to the conflict and civilian antipathy toward the profession of arms during this period, Marines distinguished themselves with the same spirit and valor as those Marines who served before them. They defeated the enemy on the battlefield at every turn and earned their rightful place among Marine heroes of eras past. This was the Marine Air Ground Team of the 3rd Marine Amphibious Force, who fought at Da Nang, Con Thien, Khe Sanh, and Hue City. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated for the reading of General Lejeun's birthday message.